Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Coombs Field on the campus of Colby College in Waterville, Maine. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you for the nightcap of the opening day coverage of the 2017 NESCAC baseball playoffs here on the Northeast Sports Network, nsnsports.net. Game 2 of the evening will face off a 1 versus 2 matchup. It'll be the Tufts Jumbos, the number 1 seed in the East bracket, will take on the number 2 seeded Amherst Mammoths of the West bracket. Again, Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you, and if this weekend is any indication of how baseball is going to be played this weekend, we are definitely in for a treat. If you missed the first game, you missed a one for the ages. It was Middlebury, the number 1 seed, and they beat number 2 seeded the Bates Bobcats 3-2 the final. The game ended on a bases-loaded walk. Usually you don't see that happen very often, but Middlebury nonetheless picks up the 3-2 win. They move on to the winner's bracket and will play the winner of Tufts Amherst tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. So that'll be the winner's bracket game. Bates will be in the loser's bracket game tomorrow morning and will face the loser of Tufts and Amherst here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So 10, 2, and 6 o'clock tomorrow night scheduled here. So 3 games will be on tap for NESCAC tournament play here tomorrow. We're glad to bring all 3 games tomorrow to you on the Northeast Sports Network. Game 2 of the day's session, it'll face off here as number 1 Tufts will take on number 2 Amherst. So it'll be Tufts and Amherst here to get underway for the nightcap session. Tufts did not play Amherst during the regular season due to the West-East non-crossover games. So Will Shackelford, a .405 average for the Jumbos, has 32 hits, 19 runs scored, and 27 RBIs. He has a .557 slugging percentage, and he'll be in the starting lineup here for the Tufts Jumbos today. Nick Falkson also having a strong season, a .394 batting average, 50 hits, 29 runs, and an astonishing 34 runs batted in. He's got a .504 slugging percentage. Pitching for the Jumbos, Spiros Varinos. He will be the starter today, the ace for the Jumbos, really 1A and 1B here with Tim Saperco. But Spirinos is definitely the ace of this Tufts Jumbo squad. An 8-1 record, 9 appearances, 62 innings pitched. He's only allowed 9 walks and has struck out 68 batters with a 1.60 earned run average. Tim Saperco, their 1B starter, .351 average, 6-0 on the season in 9 appearances, 48 2/3 innings pitched. He's walked 15 batters and struck out 48. So the Tufts Jumbos, the defending NESCAC champions, look to continue their role and look to go back-to-back in the NESCAC standings here as champions in 2016, and they look at it again in 2017. So should be a great night of baseball here. Glad we can bring it to you on the Northeast Sports Network. Their opponents, the Amherst Mammoths, 8-4 in NESCAC play, 19-14 overall. Yanni Thanopoulos leading the way for the Mammoths, a .429 average, 57 hits, 28 runs scored, and 37 runs driven in. He has a .549 slugging percentage. Anthony Spina, also a good batsman here for Amherst, .369 average, 45 hits, 30 runs scored, 26 runs driven in, and a .541 slugging percentage. On the mound for Amherst, Jackson Vole, the starting pitcher today. Should be a great matchup between Vole and Spiros Varinos. A .274 earned run average in 7 appearances, a 5-1 record on the season. He's thrown 42 2/3 innings, 13 walks, and 32 strikeouts. Again, Tufts 9-3 overall. That's why they're the number 1 seed in the conference. 26-7-1 overall. Amherst 8-4 in the NESCAC, 19-14 overall. overall. So it should be a great game here tonight. East versus West, Tufts number 1, Amherst number 2. We'll take a timeout and come back with the starting lineups and the first pitch. It's the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship. It's number 1 Tufts versus number 2 Amherst, and it's coming up next. The first pitch and the starting lineups come your way next. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. Game 2 of our first day of NESCAC Baseball Championship playoff action here. Glad you could join us on the Northeast Sports Network. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. If you missed the first game, you missed a great ball game. A 3-2 final. Middlebury beats Bates College, a 1-versus-2 matchup. It was 2-2 heading into the bottom of the 9th. A bases-loaded walk-off walk, and Middlebury moves on to the winner's bracket round. They will play tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock versus the winner of Tufts and Amherst. And 3-2 the final for Middlebury. So the Middlebury Panthers are in the winner's bracket. Bates falls to the loser's bracket, and they will play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning against the loser of Amherst and Tufts. Third game tomorrow, winner of game 3. So whoever wins the loser's bracket game tomorrow will play the loser of the 4th game. So we'll see what happens here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. You know, it's just one of those things here. And coming across the way here. So both teams here warming up here, and Tufts, of course, the home team, so they're out on the first, out here on the mound as well. Gorgeous night here for some baseball on the Northeast Sports Network, nsnsports.net. Tufts 9-3 in the NESCAC. Amherst 8-4 in the NESCAC, so it should be a great matchup here this evening. Let's get you the starting lineup here. First for the visiting Amherst Mammoths, leading off and playing second base, Max Steinhorn. Harry Roberson will bat second and play short. Yanni Thanopoulos will play center field and bat third. Anthony Spina will be the DH and bat cleanup. Ariol Kenny will play right field and bat fifth. Severino Tachi will be behind the plate and bat sixth. Chase Henley will be first base and bat seventh. Nick Nardone will play third base and bat eighth, and Ryan Harden will play left field and bat ninth. For the Tufts Jumbos defensively, in the outfield, Casey Santos Ocampo will be in left. Harry Brown, the center fielder. Oscar Kutch will be in right field. Around the infield, Tommy O'Hara will be at third base. Will Shackelford, the shortstop. Tom Petrie at second. Nick Folkson will be at first. Behind home plate will be Harrison Frickman. And on the mound is number 5, Spiros Varinos. So Max Steinhorn here is going to step in for the Jumbos, wearing the away gray pants and white lettering on the purple uniforms. The first pitch by Varinos is fouled out of play to the right side. So it'll be Steinhorn, Roberson, and Thanopoulos for Amherst here in the top of the first. Varinos winds and fires, ball fouled back into the net and out of play. So Steinhorn swinging away here as the first batter of the ball game. Gorgeous Friday evening for some NESCAC Championship Baseball on the Northeast Sports Network. Glad you could join us. The 0-2 pitch by Varinos. Fastball is outside there for ball 1. Varinos is 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Steinhorn goes down swinging. It's a 4-pitch at bat here for Steinhorn. He goes down swinging for the first out of the inning. Spiros Varinos, his first strikeout of the ball game. That'll bring up Harry Roberson. Varinos winds and fires. Swung on and missed for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch by Varinos. Fastball a little bit outside. That'll even the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Spiros Varinos 8-1 on the season and 9 appearances, a 160 earned run average, 9 walks and 68 strikeouts. 1-1 pitch swung on and missed there for strike 2. Varinos gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Varinos has struck out the first 2 batters of the ball game, 2 up and 2 down. And that'll bring up Yanni Thanopoulos, the center fielder. Thanopoulos, a .429 average, 37 runs batted in. 57 hits on the season, so really the best hitter for Amherst. Varinos winds and fires. Little line shot there in the left field is going to get down for a base hit. So first pitch swinging is Thanopoulos. And a 2-out single for Yanni Thanopoulos here in the left field. That's going to bring up the DH and cleanup hitter Anthony Spina. Spina, a .369 average on the season, 45 hits. He's driven in 26 runs. He's also hit 3 home runs. So a 2-out single there in the left field by Yanni Thanopoulos. And that'll bring up Spina. Spiros Varinos taking his time on the mound. Looks the runner, Thanopoulos, back at first. And he goes over to first base, and Thanopoulos slides back in safely. Varinos looks Thanopoulos back at first, winds and fires. Curveball in there for a strike. Spina taking a lot of time in the box here. 0-1 the count here to Spina. And they go back to first base, and Thanopoulos slides back in safely. Sun starting to fade away here in Colby. Gorgeous day for some baseball. Anything would have been good after having rain for the last 2 weeks. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball low and outside. That'll even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Spiros' 1-1 pitch. He decides he picks him off at first base. Thanopoulos a little bit too big of a lead there. And a nice job by Spiros Varinos, able to pick him off. So the third time was the charm there for Varinos. And Thanopoulos is out at first base for the third out of the inning. That ends the top of the first. No score here for Amherst. We'll see what the Tufts Jumbos do in the bottom of the first. We played a half inning here from Coombs Field. 0-0 here as we head into the bottom of the first. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field on the campus of Colby College in Waterville. A half inning gone in the books. Nothing for Amherst, and that's going to bring up the Tufts Jumbos here for the start of the bottom of the first inning. Tom Petrie's going to bat here first, the second baseman. It'll be Petrie, Kutch, and O'Hara scheduled for the Tufts Jumbos here. Ball's hit high in the air out to shallow center field. Underneath it is Thanopoulos. He has it. And Petrie is retired. A fly out to center field for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Oscar Kutch, the right fielder, number 13. So Kutch, the right fielder. Second pitch is in there for strike 2. Jackson Vole is on the mound here. We had a chance to talk with Amherst head coach Brian Ham earlier. It's spelled V-O-L-L-E, but it's pronounced Vole. Rhymes with roll. That's what he told me. That's the easiest way to pronounce it. So that's what we're going to go with. Vole Gets the strikeout there. Swing and a miss there by Kutch. And he goes down swinging. It's the first strikeout for Vole on the evening. And that'll bring up Tommy O'Hara. So 2 up and 2 down here for Tufts here in the bottom of the first. O'Hara playing third base today. Vole winds and fires. A little bit high for ball 1. Nice pitch there by Vole. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. 1-1 the count here to Tommy O'Hara, the third baseman. Ball hit on the ground to the first baseman. Henley up with it, covers the bag. And O'Hara is retired. 3 unassisted for the third out. And the Tufts Jumbos go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. We've played 1 full inning here from Coombs Field, and it's 0-0 between Tufts and Amherst. Back with the top half of inning number 2 right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field on the campus of Colby College here in Waterville. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. Anthony Spina coming back up here. He was up at the plate when Thanopoulos got picked off at first there back in the first inning. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Varinos' 0-1 pitch. A little bit outside for a ball. 1-1 the count here. So it'll be Spina, Ariol, Kenny, and Severino Tachi. 4, 5, and 6 for Amherst here in the second. Varinos' 1-1 pitch. Ball hit on the ground to the third baseman. O'Hara has it in time. Throws across to get Spina. 5-3 on the putout for the first out. That'll bring up Ariol Kenny, the right fielder. Varinos' first pitch. A little bit outside there for a ball. A 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Big cut there by Kenny. Leaving the count 1-1. 1-1 pitch is outside for ball 2. 2-1 pitch. Ball hit high in the air, and it's going to get out of play to the right. That'll leave the count 2 balls and 2 strikes here, 1 out. Nobody on here in the top of the second here for Amherst. No score. Varinos' 2-2 pitch. Just a little bit too much outside, and that'll bring the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here to Ariel Kenny. Varinos' 3-2 pitch. Ball hit on the ground. It's going to get by the shortstop and into left field for a base hit. So after working the count full, Kenny hits a ground ball into left field for a base hit. A 1-out single for Ariel Kenny. That'll bring up Severino Tocci, the catcher. Fastball is in there for strike 1, taken by Tocci. And they go back over to first base, does Varinos, trying to pick off another Mammoth runner, but he slides back safely, does Kenny. And he goes back to first base again. And he's going to go into second base, as Kenny. Looked like there was a little bit of interference there as well with the first baseman as the ball went right in front of the Amherst dugout. But the umpire's not going to call anything, but he is able to move over to second base safely there on the error. So 0-1 the count here to Severino Tocci. Ball is hit high in the air to left field. Going back is the left fielder, right off the blue baggie there in left field. Scoring from second base is Kenny. It's going to be an RBI double for Severino Tocci. And it's a 1-0 lead for the Amherst Mammoths.
First baseman, number 25,
Chase Henley, the first baseman, batting in the 7 slot. So Kenny scores from second base on a double by Severino Tocci, and it's 1-0 Amherst here in the top of the second inning. Big swing and a miss there by Henley. That ball was absolutely crushed in the left field. Spiros looks the runner back at second. The 0-1 pitch. Ball's a little bit low and outside. That'll leave in the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Varinos' 1-1 pitch fouled out of play to the right side. One and two the count here to Henley. Pitch just a little bit outside. Good pitch there by Varinos. And that'll even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the inning. 1 run already plated in for Amherst. Tachi's on second base. Varinos' 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Henley goes down swinging. It's the 3rd strikeout of the evening for Varinos, the 2nd out of the inning. And that'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Nick Nardone. Again, Tachi leading at second. Just drove in Ariel Kenny from second base with the game's first run. Amherst leads 1-0. Varinos' pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. Varinos' 0-1 pitch. He steps off and looks to run it back at second. Varinos' 0-1 pitch. Ball fouled back into the net, out of play here to the right. 17 pitches thrown this inning by Varinos. He only threw 11 in the first inning. Amherst hitters making Varinos work here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second base is Severino Tachi. The 0-2 pitch. Ball, little liner into center field for a base hit. It's going to get down. Rounding third and scoring is Tachi. It's an RBI single for Nick Nardone, scoring Severino Tachi from second base, and it's a 2-0 lead for Amherst over the Tufts Jumbos.
Number 12, Ryan Hyatt.
Ryan Harden, the left fielder, batting in the number 9 slot. Varinos' first pitch catches the corner for strike 1. And they go over to first base to check on Nardone. He gets back safely. Seems like Varinos has thrown almost as many times to first base as he has to home plate. Varinos' 0-1 pitch. Ball hit on the ground to the third baseman. Up with it is O'Hara, and he overthrows it to first base, goes over the first baseman's head. Hitting second base and moving to third base is Nick Nardone. Ryan Harden is going to reach base here. He's going to get to first base there on the throwing error. So Nardone, O'Hara overthrew the first baseman, Nick Falkson. And we go back to the top of the lineup in Max Steinhorn. Steinhorn struck out his first plate appearance, 0 for 1 on the evening. So Nardone moves to third base on the throwing error. Harden is on first. 2 outs in the inning. Runners on the corners for the Mammoths. And he goes back to first base, and sliding back there is Harden. Varinos' first pitch, ball fouled back into the net. And a timeout called here by the home plate umpire. Stepping out will be Steinhorn. Gonna step back into the box. Swung on and missed there for strike 2. A little bit of an off-speed pitch by Varinos there, fooled Steinhorn. Varinos gets the sign from Frickman. Winds and fires. Fastball high and outside. That'll bring the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the leadoff hitter, Max Steinhorn. Varinos' pitch. Ball hit high in the air towards center field. Underneath it is Brown, and he hauls it in for the final out of the inning. So Steinhorn, an F8 on the 3rd out, and that will retire the side. But the Amherst Mammoths get 2 hits. Actually, they get 3 hits and 2 runs scored, and after an inning and a half, it's Amherst 2 and Tufts nothing. Back with the bottom of the 2nd after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Playoffs on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field. The bottom of the 2nd inning we go. The Amherst Mammoths have a 2-0 lead over Tufts. It'll be Nick Falkson, Casey Santos Ocampo, and Ryan Day, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Tufts here. And they will face Jackson Volley, number 15 here at a good first inning here for Amherst. We'll see what he does here in the 2nd. Only threw 7 pitches in the 1st inning. First pitch by Volley is in there for a strike. Falkson steps out for a second, comes back in. Volley's 0-1 pitch. Pitch is outside, that'll even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Volley's 1-1 pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 2. Umpire calls time here for a second for the hitter Falkson. And time is granted back in here. 1-2 the count. Volley's pitch. Fastball is outside. That'll even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled into the net to the right side. The 2-2 pitch by Volley. Swung on and missed strike 3. And Nick Falkson goes down swinging. It's the 2nd strikeout of the evening for Jackson Volley. First out of the inning here in the bottom of the 2nd. And that'll bring up Casey Santos Ocampo. Playing left field tonight. First pitch is hit high in the air in the infield. Third baseman calling everyone off is Nick Nardone. He's got the out there. So 1 pitch and 1 out there by Casey Santos Ocampo. It's going to be 5 unassisted on the putout for the second out. That'll bring up Ryan Day, the DH. Volley's first pitch. Fastball is a little bit inside there for ball 1. Second pitch by Volley. A little bit inside there for ball 2. The 0-2 pitch. Outside for ball 3. .30 pitch, down and low for ball 4. So 4 straight pitches to Ryan Day, and he's going to earn himself a 2-out walk. Number 15, Harry Brown, the center fielder, is going to bat next for Amherst. Ryan Day walks down to first base. First pitch is up high for a ball. They go back over to first base to check on Day. He's able to slide back safely. Volley's 1-0 pitch. Fastball's in there for strike 1. That'll even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike here to Harry Brown, the center fielder. Volley gets the sign from Tachi, and he decides to go over to first base there, and ball gets away from the first baseman, Henley, but not far enough to advance Day to second base. Volley's 1-1 pitch. Curveball just a little bit high. That'll be in there for ball 2. Volley looks the runner back at first. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 2. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here to Harry Brown. Ryan Day earned himself a 2-out walk and is down at first base. Volley looks Brown back at first. The 2-2 pitch, he's going. Ball hit high in the air down the first baseline. It's going to get into the bullpen and out of play. Down the right field line there. And we'll do the 2-2 pitch once again. Brown steps back in the box. Volley's 2-2 pitch. Ball is ripped past the shortstop and into left field for a base hit. Moving over to second base is Ryan Day, and it's a 2-out single for Harry Brown into left field. And the Jumbo is still alive in the inning with 2 outs but 2 runners on. That's going to bring up Harrison Frickman, the catcher. Volley winds and fires. Fastball is low for ball 1. And Tachi's going to come out and talk to his catcher here. 17 pitches thrown in the inning by Jackson Volley. Volley's 1-0 pitch. Catches the outside corner for strike one. That'll even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs in the inning. Amherst up 2-0 over the number 1 seeded Jumbos. Bottom of the 2nd inning. Volley is going to step off here and look the runner back at second base. Going back is Ryan Day. So Day's on second. Brown is on first. 2 outs in the inning. The Jumbos looking to break that 0 off the scoreboard. 1-1 pitch. Little flare into shallow right field there, and coming over there is Steinhorn, the second baseman, and Frickman is going to be out 4 unassisted on the play for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 men left on and nobody scored. We've played 2 full innings here from Coombs Field, and it's 2-0 Amherst over the Tufts Jumbos. We'll be back with the top of the 3rd right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. We go to the top half of inning number 3. 2-0 Amherst over Tufts. Glad you could join us for Game 2 of the Friday session of the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network, nsnsports.net. It'll be Roberson, Thanopoulos, and Spina, the scheduled hitters. 2, 3, 4 for Amherst here in the top of the 3rd. Roberson's first pitch is fouled off and out of play. Spiros Varinos in for his 3rd inning of work here. Varinos' 0-1 pitch. Putting a bunt in there was Roberson. It's going to get in there for a strike. Strike 2 here to the leadoff hitter and shortstop Harry Roberson. Varinos' 0-2 pitch. Fastball is high and outside. 1-2 the count here to Harry Roberson. One-two pitch. Ball fouled out of play to the right side. Varinos' 1-2 pitch. Nice job holding off there by Roberson. That'll even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch by Varinos is up high for ball 3. That'll bring the count full here. Roberson, has worked the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes here. First batter of the 3rd inning. Top of the 3rd, 2-0 Amherst. The 3-2 pitch is a fastball outside for ball 4. And Roberson's going to earn a leadoff walk. Yanni Thanopoulos, the center fielder, is going to bat next. 1 for 1 on the day with a single back in the 1st inning. Spiros' first pitch is low and in the dirt. Nice job there by Frickman blocking that one. So nobody out here in the top of the 3rd inning. 2-0 Amherst. Big swing and a miss there by Thanopoulos. That'll leave in the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Varinos is 1-1 pitch, and he steps off and goes back to first base. Keeping Roberson honest over there, keeping him close to the bag. A 1-1 pitch, ball fouled to the right side and into the net. The 1-2 pitch, and he's going to step off again, is Varinos and go over to first base. Roberson slides back safely. Varinos, the 1-2 pitch, and he's going to step off for a 3rd time and go back over to Roberson at first. The 1-2 pitch by Varinos. Curveball's outside for ball 2. Varinos gets the sign. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball a little bit low there. That'll bring the count full. Excuse me, that'll bring the count 3-2. Yes, it'll bring it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here. A leadoff walk by Harry Roberson to start off the 3rd inning. Varinos, 3-2 pitch. Ball hit to the shortstop. Over to second for 1. On to first, double play. Shackelford to Petrie to Falkson. The double play, so 1 runner was on. Now there's 2 outs in the inning, and that'll bring up Anthony Spina. Spina is going to come up here 0 for 1 on the afternoon with a ground out back in the 2nd inning. So Spina quickly 2 outs here in the inning. to Thanopoulos. Ball hit right to the second baseman. The shortstop one-handed it there. Nice job there by Shackelford. Was able to get it and throw out Spina in time, so it'll be a 6-3 on the putout. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. 1-2-3 inning for the Tufts Jumbos here in the third. And we've played 2.5 here from Coombs Field. It's 2-0 Amherst. As we head to the bottom of the third after this, you're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field, the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship. In a battle of 1 versus 2, East versus West, so far it's been the way of the Mammoths here. As we go to the bottom of the third, it's 2-0 Amherst over Tufts. And to lead things off here is Will Shackelford, the shortstop. It'll be 9-1-2, so it'll be Will Shackelford, Tom Petrie, and Oscar Kutch. First pitch by Volley there is over the shortstop's head and into left center field for a base hit. So Shackelford, a leadoff single here. That'll bring up Tom Petrie. Petrie flew out to the center fielder, 0 for 1, his first time up back in the first inning. Volley's first pitch. A little bit low for ball 1. They go back over to first base, and getting back in is Shackelford. The 1-0 pitch, a little bit low for ball 2. A 2-0 pitch in there for strike 1. Two and 1 the count here to Tom Petrie. Volley looks Shackelford back at first. He goes back over to first, and Shackelford slides back in safely. Volley's 2-1 pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 2. That'll even the count 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the leadoff hitter and second baseman, Tom Petrie. Volley looks Shackelford back at first, winds and fires, ball fouled into the coach's box down the third baseline. Volley's 2-2 pitch. Ball fouled out of play to the right side. Volley gets the sign from Tachi. The 2-2 pitch. Ball's a little bit low and outside. That'll bring the count full. Three balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here. Shackelford, the number 9 hitter, led off the inning with a single. The 3-2 pitch. Ball is hit hard in the air to center field. Going back on it is the center fielder. Thanopoulos has it and hauls it in there for a long out, number 1. So Petrie has flown out to the center fielder twice for the first out. That'll bring up Oscar Kutch, the right fielder. Kutch struck out his first at bat in the first inning, 0 for 1 on the evening. First pitch up high to Kutch for ball 1. They go back over to first base, and Shackelford slides back in safely. Volley's 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Kutch for strike 1. The shortstop, Harry Roberson, coming in to talk to his pitcher, Jackson Volley. Usually you don't see too many conferences between the shortstop and the pitcher, but we'll see what happens here. Volley gets the sign, the 1-1 pitch. Ball fouled back off into the net to the left side. The 1-2 pitch from Volley. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and Kutch goes down swinging for the second consecutive time. It's the third strikeout of the evening for Jackson Volley. 2 outs in the inning. That'll bring up Tommy O'Hara. O'Hara's 0 for 1 on the day. Volley goes back over to first base to check on Shackelford. He slides back in safely. Volley's first pitch. A little bit outside for ball 1. Volley's 1-0 pitch is up high for ball 2. Volley looks Shackelford back at first. The 2-0 pitch. Ball fouled back into the net behind us here. Two and 1 the count here to O'Hara. Volley's 2-1 pitch. Shackelford's going to throw down to second base, and he's safe. Nice job there by Shackelford. After about 10 attempts over to first base, Shackelford says, heck, I'm going to go on this pitch, and he does. He slides in safely. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the inning. Shackelford now in the scoring position at second base. Volley steps off the rubber here for a moment. It's going to step back on. Tommy O'Hara's up, the third baseman. The 2-2 pitch from Volley. Off-speed pitch a little bit low there. That'll bring the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Tufts trying to get on the board here, trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Volleys, 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. And O'Hara goes down swinging. It's the fourth strikeout of the evening for Jackson Volley in the second one of the third inning. One runner left, one hit, one runner left, and nobody scored. We've played 3 full here from Coombs Field, and it's 2-0 Amherst over Tufts. We'll be back with the top of the fourth right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field. We go to the top half of the fourth. It's 2-0 Amherst with the Mammoths batting here. It's going to be Ariol Kenny, Severino Tachi, and Chase Henley, the number 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Mammoths here in the top of the fourth. Back on the mound for the Jumbos is Spiros Varinos. Varinos' first pitch. Ball ripped into center field on a line for a base hit. Ariol Kenny is now 2 for 2 on the day with the first run scored for Amherst back in the second inning. Severino Tachi, the catcher. Tachi drove in Ariol Kenny with the second Amherst run, an RBI double back in the second inning. First pitch by Varinos is in there for a strike. And he throws over to first base, and getting back safely is Kenny. Varinos looks Kenny back at first. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit outside. That'll even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Varinos gets the sign from Frickman, the 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Tachi for strike 2. One into the count here to Severino Tachi, the catcher. Varinos winds and fires. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Tachi goes down swinging. It's the 4th strikeout of the evening for Spiros Varinos. 1 out in the inning. That'll bring up Chase Henley, the first baseman. 0 for 1 on the evening with a strikeout back in the second. Still on first is Kenny. And he goes back to first base, and Kenny is able to get back in there safely. Varinos' first pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Big cut there by Henley. Owen won the count here to Chase Henley, the first baseman. Ariel Kenny at first base slides back in safely. A throw over by Varinos. The 0-1 pitch by Varinos. Fastball is outside. That'll even the count 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Amherst with the lead. Number 2 leading number 1 at the moment. And Varinos goes back over to first again, trying to keep Kenny honest over there. Trying to keep him close to that bag. Varinos' 1-1 pitch. Big cut again there by Henley for strike 2. Varinos gets his sign. The 1-2 pitch. Ball hit high in the air. Down the third baseline. Over is the third baseman getting called off there. Nice job there by the shortstop, Shackelford, to call him off there. And he's going to grab the out there for the second out of the inning. So it's going to be 6 unassisted for the second out. That's going to bring up Nick Nardone. Nardone had an RBI single there back in the second inning. Runner on first is Ariel Kenny. Varinos goes back over to first base again, and Kenny is back safely. Varinos' first pitch is going to have to wait here a moment as he throws back over to first base to keep Kenny over there. Varinos' first pitch, curveball, is in there for strike 1. Nice pitch there by Varinos. The 0-1 pitch, ball fouled into the net to the right side, not a play. Oh, and 2 the count here to Nick Nardone, the third baseman. Oh, and 2 the count here. 2 outs in the inning. Runner on first is Ariel Kenny. And he throws back over to keep Kenny over at first base. He slides back in safely. The 0-2 pitch from Varinos. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Nardone goes down swinging. It's the 5th strikeout of the evening for Spiros Varinos, and that ends the threat for the Amherst Mammoths in the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 2-0 Amherst. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to the Colby College Baseball Complex, Coombs Field. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. We're in the bottom of the fourth. It's 2-0 Amherst, game 2 of the Friday session for the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship. Glad you could join us on the Northeast Sports Network, nsnsports.net. Nick Falkson, Casey Santos Ocampo, and Ryan Day, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Tufts here in the bottom of the fourth against Jackson Volley. Volley's 0-1 pitch goes to the backstop there. One hop the catcher there, Tachi. It's going to bring the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. One pitch by Volley is fouled into the net to the right side. Well, I'm glad I brought my jacket tonight because they say if you want the weather in Maine to change, just wait 5 minutes, and pretty much that's what it's been here. The wind picking up here a little bit as the clouds come over. The lights are on now, and it's a gorgeous night here for baseball despite it being a little bit chillier now than it was earlier. Falkson steps out and then steps back in. The 1-2 pitch from Volley. Fastball is outside for ball 2. That'll even the count. The 2-2 pitch from Volley. Fastball is high and outside for ball 3. That'll bring the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here to the leadoff hitter in the 4th inning, Nick Falkson. The 3-2 pitch. Curveball fouled and out of play here to the right. Good job by Falkson staying alive in the count. The 3-2 pitch from Volley, and is able to get a piece of it is Falkson there. Not much of it, but just being able to get a piece of it to stay alive in the count. The 3-2 pitch from Volley. Fouled back into the net to the right. We'll do the 3-2 pitch once again. Ball fouled this time down the first baseline, but foul. So it'll be Falkson, Santos Ocampo, and Day. 4, 5, and 6 hitters here in the bottom of the fourth for Tufts. Tufts, the defending NESCAC champions, trailing 2-0 here in the first game. And the 3-2 pitch is outside for ball 4, and Nick Falkson works a leadoff walk here to start the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up the left fielder, Casey Santos Ocampo, the left fielder. Ocampo 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out there back in the second. First pitch there by Volley is outside for ball 1. Volley threw 7 pitches in the first, 19 in the second, 20 in the third, and has already thrown 11 here in the fourth. Volley's 1-0 pitch, low and in the dirt for ball 2. Volley's 2-0 pitch. Bunt sign there, taken back there by Santos Ocampo. And it's going to be in there for ball 3. So 3-0 the count here to Casey Santos Ocampo, with Nick Falkson at first base with a leadoff walk. Volley's 3-0 pitch catches the outside corner for strike 1. Volley gets the sign from his catcher. The 3-1 pitch, ball hit high in the air, and it's going to get out of play here, right over behind us here and out on the road. And it's going to roll down the hill, according to our cameraman Dan Chassie, who can see a little bit up. He's a little bit higher above me here, so good luck trying to find that baseball tonight.
Looks like she stopped in just in time.
The 3-2 pitch is going to have to hold off here as Volley goes over to first base to keep a look on Nick Falkson. Volley's 3-2 pitch. Ball 4 is inside. Casey Santos Ocampo has worked back-to-back walks here for the Tufts Jumbos. Nick Falkson will move over to second base. And that'll bring up Ryan Day, the DH. Day walked his first time up back in the second inning. And we're going to get a pitching conference here on the mound as Jackson Volley and Severino Tachi and head coach Brian Ham goes out to the mound. Also the shortstop, Harry Roberson, is in there as well. So that's going to bring up Ryan Day here, the DH. Volley's first pitch. Fastball is high and outside for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball right over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Wind starting to pick up here a little bit. Volley looks the runner back at second, and he steps off here. Going back to second was Falkson. Volley's 1-1 pitch. Nice curveball is in there for strike 2. Volley gets the sign from Tachi. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball just a little bit low. That'll even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to the DH, Ryan Day. Casey Santos Ocampo is on first. Nick Falkson is on second. Both of them had a first and a second walk. Little number there in the air. Going over is Volley, and he's able to get it towards the third baseline for the first out of the inning. So Day is going to be 1 unassisted for the first out, and that's going to bring up Harry Brown, the center fielder. Brown 1 for 1 on the day with a single back in the second. Volley's first pitch is high for ball 1. And they go back to second base, and they throw the ball into center field. But the center fielder there, Thanopoulos, is right there, and no advancement for Nick Folkson from second to third base. So Volley gets the sign from Tachi. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball roped into left field, and the left fielder Harden has it. He's able to throw it in there for the second out of the inning. That ball was hit pretty hard there by Harry Brown. It's going to be an F7 on the putout for the second out, and that's going to bring up Harrison Frickman, the catcher. So Santos Ocampo and Nick Folkson will have to stay at their respective bases there. Kind of a line shot there right to the left fielder, Ryan Harden. It's going to bring up Harrison Frickman, the catcher, the number 8 hitter, 0 for 1 on the day, with a fly out to the second baseman back in the second inning. Volley's first pitch, a little bit inside for ball 1. This has been the best chance for the Jumbos here in the game thus far, trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Volley's 1-0 pitch. Ball hit in the gap in left center field. Diving is and missing it is the center fielder, Thanopoulos. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score. It's going to be an RBI, a 2-run RBI double for Harrison Frickman, and this ball game is tied up at 2 in the bottom of the fourth. Thanopoulos had a long ways to go to get that. He hit it in the gap between left and center field, and Thanopoulos dove for it but missed it. And the left fielder, Harden, had to go out and grab it, but by then, Folkson scored from second base, and Santos Ocampo scored from first base, and Harrison Frickman ended up at second base. It's a 2-run double for Frickman, the catcher, and we're tied at 2 here in the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up Will Shackelford. 1 for 1 on the day with a single back in the third. First pitch he sees from Volley is high and outside for ball 1. Tufts Jumbo's offense has come alive here in the fourth. Ball fouled back into the net. The 1-1 pitch is low and outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count here to the number 9 hitter, Will Shackelford. Ball is hit high in the air. Coming over is the right fielder. He dives and he misses it. Missing it was Kenny out there in right field. And moving up to second base is going to be Shackelford on the play. Scoring from second base is Harrison Frickman. And the Tufts Jumbos have their first lead of the night. It's 3-2 Jumbos here in the fourth. Tom Petrie's going to come up here. 0 for 2 on the evening. 2 flyouts to the center fielder for Tom Petrie. So a 3-run inning thus far for Tufts here in the bottom of the fourth, and they lead 3-2. Ball hit high in the air down the first baseline and foul right over the Amherst dugout. So Shackelford is on second base there, driving in that run. The 0-1 pitch, a little bit low for ball 1. That'll even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike here. One pitch to Petrie, big cut there by the second baseman. It's in there for strike 2. 1-2 the count here to Tom Petrie. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Runner on second is Will Shackelford. 2 outs in the inning. Tufts has put a crooked number up and have put up 3 runs here in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch by Volley is outside. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Volley's 2-2 pitch. A little bit low for ball 3. The count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Volley's full count pitch. A little bit high for ball 4. And Petrie has earned himself a 2-out walk. That'll bring up Oscar Kutch, the right fielder. Oscar 0 for 2 on the day with 2 Ks. Volley, a long sign look in from Tachi. First pitch is a little bit low and outside for ball 1. 35 pitches unofficially thrown in this inning by Jackson Volley. The 1-0 pitch. A little bit inside for ball 2. 2-0 the count here. Shackelford's on second. Petrie is on first. Volley's pitch. In there for a strike. 2-1 the count here to Oscar Kutch. Volley's 2-1 pitch. Fastball is outside for ball 3. The 3-1 pitch. A little bit high and inside for ball 4. And now the bases are loaded for the Jumbos. Kutch back-to-back walks with Petrie, and Shackelford moves to third base, Petrie to second, Kutch down to first, and now the bases are loaded. That's going to bring up Tommy O'Hara. O'Hara 0 for 2 on the evening. O'Hara is the 9th batter for the Jumbos this inning. Volley's first pitch low for ball 1. Volley's 1-0 pitch low for ball 2. Volley gets the sign from Tachi. The 2-0 pitch. Pitch is in there for a strike. Volley winds and fires. Ball fouled back into the net to the left side. He wanted that pitch right there. That'll bring the count full. That'll bring the count, to 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases are loaded. Tommy O'Hara trying to help his own cause here as the Jumbos have taken the lead here in the inning, 3-2. O'Hara called timeout here. He's going to step back into the box and collect himself. Volley's 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. Fastball hit right back to the pitcher. Volley has it, underhands over to the first baseman, Henley, and that is going to retire the side. But the Tufts Jumbos plate 3 runs and take the lead. We've played 4 full innings here from Coombs Field, and it's 3-2 Tufts over the Amherst Mammoths. We go to the top of the 5th after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field on the campus of Colby College in Waterville. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. We go to the top of the 5th. It's 3-2. The Jumbos plated 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th and lead 3-2 over Amherst here as we head to the top of the 5th inning. It's going to be Ryan Harden leading off, the left fielder for Amherst. First pitch in there by Varinos. It's in there for a strike. There'll be Ryan Harden, Max Steinhorn, and Harry Roberson. Varinos' 0-1 pitch. Fastball catches the inside corner for strike 2. Varinos is ahead of the count, 0-2. Varinos gets the sign from Frickman, winds and fires. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. And Harden goes down swinging. And for Spiros Varinos, it's strikeout number 5 of the evening. That'll bring up Max Steinhorn, 0 for 2 on the day, a strikeout and a flyout. Varinos' first pitch is in there for a strike. Now, Tufts was up for a long time. That kind of puts a hampering on their starting pitcher, Spiros Varinos, because he was on the bench just as long. So we'll see how that works out here for him this inning. Ball fouled and hit out of play to the right side. 44 pitches unofficially thrown by Jackson Volley in that bottom of the 4th inning. Varinos' 0-2 pitch. Curveball's way outside there for ball 1. That'll bring the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Tufts with a 3-2 lead over Amherst. Varinos' 1-2 pitch. Ball fouled out of play to the right side once again. I hate to be the person who has to find these baseballs in the dark over here. The 1-2 pitch by Varinos. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Max Steinhorn goes down swinging. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Spiros Varinos. And it's the 6th strikeout of the evening for the pitcher for Tufts. That'll bring up Harry Roberson, the shortstop. Roberson 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. Marinos' first pitch a little bit high and inside there for ball 1. A 1-0 pitch by Varinos. Big swing and a miss there by Roberson. That'll even the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Varinos' 1-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit high and outside for ball 2. Varinos gets the sign from Frickman. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ball fouled into the net and out of play to the right. The 2-2 pitch by Varinos. Ball hit on the ground to the shortstop. Up with it, Shackelford throws across in time to retire Roberson. 6-3 on the putout for the 3rd out of the inning. 1-2-3 go the Amherst Mammoths in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 3-2 Tufts. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. Game 2 of NESCAC Championship play here from Colby College here in Waterville. Glad you could join us on the Northeast Sports Network. Nick Falkson, Casey Santos Ocampo, and Ryan Day, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters scheduled for the Tufts Jumbos here in the bottom of the 5th. The Jumbos with a 3-2 lead. It was 2-0 Amherst, but Tufts scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th and lead 3-2. And a hit batsman there. Falkson takes one right on the left shoulder there, and he's going to go down to first base as a hit by pitch. Jackson Volley was already at 90 pitches unofficially heading into that at bat there, so not a good way to start the inning for him. But the Mammoths only trail by 1, 3-2. That'll bring up the left fielder, Casey Santos Ocampo. 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out back in the 2nd inning. Volley's first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Volley's 1-0 pitch. Fastball is up high for ball 2. The Mammoths have a pitcher warming up down in their bullpen down the first baseline at the moment. Actually, they have 2 pitchers warming up. And Volley goes back to first base to check on Falkson over there. He gets back safely. It's 2 right-handed pitchers. They go back to first base, and they airmailed it over the first baseman. Falkson's going to go to second base easily. And Tachi just threw it right over the first baseman's head, right into right field. So it's going to be a throwing error on Severino Tachi. Moving from first to second on the throwing error is Nick Falkson. And the Jumbos have a runner in scoring position here and a 2-0 count here on Casey Santos Ocampo, the left fielder. .30 pitch is in there for strike one. .31 pitch in there for strike two. It was 3-0. Nice job battling back by Jackson Volley. Now it's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here. Nick Falkson on second base. Volley's 3-2 pitch. Fastball is outside for ball 4. And Casey Santos Ocampo is going to earn himself a walk. So Falkson is on second base on that throwing error. He was hit by a pitch to lead off the inning. Casey Santos Ocampo just walked, and that's going to bring up the DH, Ryan Day. Day 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out back in the 4th. And Volley decides to step off here before going towards home plate. He's going to look the runner back at second in Falkson. First pitch, high and inside for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Ball fouled right back into the net, right to us. Volley back on the mound, and he's going to step off again. Runner on first and second, nobody out here in the 5th. Volley's 1-1 pitch. Ball hit on the ground to the shortstop. Over to second for 1, on to first, and he's going to be safe at first base. So Santos Ocampo is going to be out on the force play at second base. Falkson moves to third base, and Ryan Day is going to reach first on a fielder's choice. So 1 out in the inning. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Harry Brown. Brown 1 for 2 on the evening with a single back in the 2nd. Tufts already leads 3-2, looking for more here to try to get a little more of a cushion here as we approach the middle innings of this ball game. First pitch by Volley is outside for ball 1. Volley goes over to third base and goes over to first base. And the head coach for Tufts is going to come out, John Casey, in his 35th season. And John Casey's going to try to get an explanation from the umpire on why he may have thought it was a balk, but the umpire said no. And we're going to have a pitching conference here between Severino Tachi and Jackson Volley there just for a brief moment. So Harry Brown is up here, 1-0 the count to the left fielder, center fielder. Runner on third is Nick Falkson. Runner on first is Ryan Day. Ball fouled and out of play to the right side. The 1-1 pitch to Brown is low and inside for ball 2. Jackson Volley is approaching the 100 pitch mark here for the ball game. The 2-1 pitch. Ball hit on the ground to the shortstop. Over to second for 1. On to first. Nice scoop there at first base by Henley. And Amherst gets out of the inning. Double play to end the inning, and we've played 5 full. Played 4.5 here from the Coombs Field Colby Baseball Complex here in Waterville. It's 3-2 Tufts over the Amherst Mammoths. We go to the top of the 6th right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field on the campus of Colby College here in Waterville, Maine. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you. Day 1 of the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship. And it's a 3-2 lead for the Tufts Jumbos over the Amherst Mammoths here as we head into the top of the 6th inning. It's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Yanni Thanopoulos, Anthony Spina, and Ariol Kenny for the Amherst Mammoths. Back on the mound, Spiros Varinos for the Tufts Jumbos, having a strong performance here this evening. Varinos' first pitch, a little bit low for ball 1. Varinos' 1-0 pitch. Ball hit in the air to left field. A shot gets over the left fielder's head off the baggie out there in left field. And sliding into second base safely is Yanni Thanopoulos. Boy, that ball was smoked into left field, and Thanopoulos has a leadoff double here for the Mammoths in the 6th inning. Anthony Spina, the DH, is going to bat next. Spina 0 for 2 on the evening with 2 groundouts. That ball was absolutely ripped by Thanopoulos. We get a pitching conference here on the mound here. Very quick pitching conference as the catcher and second baseman, Tom Petrie and Harrison Frickman, come out to talk to their starter, Spiros Varinos. Anthony Spina stepping into the box. Varinos looks Thanopoulos back, curveball. A little bit low for a ball. Thanopoulos with a leadoff double is on second. Varinos, 1-0 pitch. Ball is ripped into the gap there in right center field. It's going to get all the way to the fence. Rounding second and third and scoring is Thanopoulos. Spina's thinking triple. He slides. He's safe. Spina with a big rip over the second baseman there. Got into the gap in right center field. Thanopoulos scored easily, and Spina ends up with an RBI triple at third base. This ball game is tied back up at 3 here in the 6th. RBI triple there for Spina. And that's going to bring up Ariel Kenny, the right fielder. Ball's hit high in the air, right down the first baseline. Going over is the second baseman. In fair territory is Petrie, and he has it for the first out of the inning. So Kenny, who was 2 for 2 on the day, flies out to Petrie. It's going to be the F4 on the putout for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the catcher, Severino Tocci. Spells his name Tocci, kind of like Noah Tocci for the Colby Mules, but the way they wrote it out phonetically, it's TAW space CHI. So trying to stretch out Tocci, not Talkie or however anybody else would want to pronounce it, but it's pronounced Tocci. Bunt sign down by Tocci. Ball goes to the backstop, hits right off the blocks there in the backstop, and moving to third base on the play. Again, Spina had to move back to third base. He was already on third base with that triple, had to go back to third base for that play. And then Kenny flew out to the second baseman. So a wild pitch there for Spiros Varinos, but the runner could not advance. Big swing and a miss there by Tocci. That'll even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Severino Tocci, the catcher. 1 for 2 on the evening, an RBI double back in the second. A 1-1 pitch. Bunt gets down the first baseline, but it's going to go foul. Have to come back to the batter's box here. Guys talking over with the third base coach here between Tocci and Anthony Spina. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Spina is on third base. 1 run already in for the Mammoths here, tying this ball game up at 3 as we're in the top of the 6th. The 1-2 pitch coming from Varinos. Here it is. Ball is outside for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Varinos looks in for his sign from the catcher, Harrison Frickman. The set. Winds and fires. Fastball hit in the gap in left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Scoring easily from third is Anthony Spina. It's an RBI single for Severino Tocci, and it's a 4-2 lead for Amherst. The Mammoths have taken the lead back.
Number 25,
Chase Henley, the first baseman, will bat next. 2 outs in the inning. Tocci slides safely back into first base. 2 runs in already in the inning for the Amherst Mammoths. Looking for more here, 1 out in the inning. Curveball by Varinos, a little bit high there for a ball. Varinos goes back over to first base. Sliding back in is Tachi. Varinos' 1-0 pitch hits him right on the left shoulder there, and Henley's going to walk down to first base. Nick Nardone, the number 8 here, is going to bat next. He's playing third base, 1 for 2 on the evening with a single and an RBI back in the second inning. So Henley goes down to first base after getting hit by the pitch. Severino Tachi moves to second base on the play. 1 out in the inning. It's going to bring up Nick Nardone. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch by Varinos. A little bit low for a ball. One and one the count. That'll even it. 1 out in the inning. 2 runs already in for Amherst, looking for more. Varinos, a long look in at his catcher, Frickman. Winds and fires. Fastball low and inside for ball 2. Varinos' 2-1 pitch. Curveball's outside for ball 3. Three and 1 the count here to Nick Nardone, the third baseman. Varinos looks the runner back, winds and fires. Fastball fouled back into the net behind us by Nardone. Nardone steps back into the box. It's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Tachi leads off from second, Henley from first. Varinos winds and fires. Fastball hit in the gap in there and to left field. Over to catch it is Santos Ocampo, and he has it for the second out of the inning. So Nardone an F7 on the putout for the second out. That'll bring up Ryan Harden, the left fielder. Harden reached base on an error in the second inning and struck out in the 5th. Varinos gets the sign from Frickman. Looks the runner back at second. Winds and fires. Curveball in there for strike 1. Varinos winds and fires, little liner into left field, and grabbing it there is Casey Santos Ocampo. And that is going to end the inning. Ryan Harden flies out to Casey Santos Ocampo. And that's going to retire the side. Well, the Amherst Mammoths plate 2 more runs and take the lead back. And we head to the bottom of the 6th after this. It's 4-3 Amherst. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Colby College's Coombs Field, the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship here on the Northeast Sports Network, nsnsports.net. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's a 4-3 lead for Amherst, and the Amherst Mammoths have a pitching change here. It's going to be number 31, Wilson Taylor, coming in. Wilson Taylor, the sophomore right-hander, 6'3", 185 pounds, from San Antonio, Texas, went to St. Mary's Hall. So we'll see how he does here for the Mammoths with a 1-run lead here as we approach the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch is in there for a strike. It's going to be Harrison Frickman, Will Shackelford, and Tom Petrie, 8-9-1 for the Jumbos here in the 6th. Second pitch is in there for strike 2. Not wasting any time is Wilson Taylor. Probably cold sitting on that bench. He's glad to get into the ball game. Pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3, and Wilson Taylor paying the dividends here early. A strikeout here in his first batter. Frickman goes down swinging for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Will Shackelford, the shortstop. Shackelford 1 for 2 on the evening with a single back in the 3rd inning. Taylor's pitch in there for a strike. Taylor popping the glove here on this brisk night here. It was nice during the first couple innings, but once the sun went down, it's kind of feels like fall weather outside right now. The 0-1 pitch is a little bit low for ball 1. That'll even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Taylor's 1-1 pitch. Ball hit on a line into right field. Backing up there is Kenny, and he has it for the second out of the inning. It's an F9 on the fly out there for the second out. We go back to the top of the lineup in Tom Petrie. Petrie 0 for 2 on the evening with 2 flyouts, 1 in the first, 1 in the 3rd. First pitch by Taylor is a little bit low for ball 1. Wilson's 1-0 pitch. Catches the outside corner for strike one. Taylor's 1-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch outside for ball two. The 2-1 pitch. Right over the heart of the plate for strike two. Twos across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tachi giving Taylor signs. He winds and fires. Hits him right on the left shoulder there. Petrie's going to walk down to first base.
Right fielder, number 13, Oscar Kutch.
That's going to bring up Oscar Kutch here, the right fielder. 0 for 2 on the evening with 2 strikeouts. First pitch, fastball inside corner for strike one. Go over to first base, trying to keep Petrie safe over there, and he gets back safely. Trying to keep him close to the bag over there. The 0-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch inside. That'll even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Oscar Kutch. Off-speed pitch catches the outside corner for strike two. Brings the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here, and Taylor goes back to first base trying to catch Petrie off guard there, but he gets back in safely. Taylor's 1-2 pitch. Little nubber back to the pitcher. He has it. Throws across in time to retire Kutch. 1-3, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 left on base. We've played 6 full here from Coombs Field. And after 6, it's Amherst 4 and Tufts 3. Back with the top of the 7th right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field. The new pitcher for the Tufts Jumbos this inning, number 35, Brad Marchetti, is going to come on for the Jumbos. Marchetti, freshman from Wellesley, Massachusetts, went to Wellesley High School, 6 feet tall, 195 pounds. And we go back to the top of the lineup here in the top of the 7th here. Max Steinhorn, Harry Roberson, and Yanni Thanopoulos. Pitch in there from Marchetti. It's a little bit low for a ball. That'll even the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Marchetti winds and fires. Fastball outside for ball 2. Ball's hit right back up off Marchetti. Shortstop has it. Shackelford overthrows him at first base, and he's caught in a run down there. He turned the bag and went towards second base, and he's going to be out there at second base. So Steinhorn is still going to get a base hit on that play, even despite the throw over the first baseman. He did turn to go towards second base. That's why he got caught in the pickle, and he was thrown out at second base for the first out of the inning. So he's still going to get a base hit for that, despite getting thrown out at second base. And that'll bring up Harry Roberson. First pitch there by Marchetti is in there for a strike. Roberson 0 for 2 on the evening with a strikeout and a ground out. Marchetti's pitch, little looper into center field. Going out is the second baseman, Tom Petrie, to grab it there. So Roberson is retired, 4 unassisted. And that'll bring up Yanni Thanopoulos. Thanopoulos 2 for 3 on the day, a single back in the first, and an RBI double, and a run scored back in the 6th. Two outs in the inning, nobody on for Amherst. Marchetti, curveball in there for a strike. The 0-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch way outside there for ball 1. That'll even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike here to Yanni Thanopoulos, the center fielder. He's been pretty busy out there in center field tonight. The 1-1 pitch. Ball hit on the ground to the second baseman. Up with it is Petrie. Throws across in time to retire Thanopoulos, 4-3. And the Amherst Mammoths go 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 4-3 Amherst. We'll be back with the bottom of the 7th right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. Ian Wilbur and Dan Chassie with you on this Friday evening. Game 2 of NESCAC Championship play. The first game went to the Middlebury Panthers 3-2 over the Bates Bobcats on a bases-loaded walk to end the ball game. Boy, you don't see that very often, so Middlebury will move into the winner's bracket game and will play tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock against the winner of this game between the Tufts Jumbos and the Amherst Mammoths. So the loser's bracket game will be played tomorrow morning, the first game at 10 o'clock. First pitch by Wilson is in there for a strike. Glad we can bring you all the NESCAC Baseball Championship play here on the Northeast Sports Network. NSNsports.net. check swing there by Tommy O'Hara, and he's down in the count 1-2. O'Hara 0 for 3 on the evening. Taylor's 1-2 pitch, check swing, and the third base umpire said he did not go. They appeal down to third base. The umpire says he did not swing, so he's going to bring the count to 2-2 here. Stay alive in the count here is O'Hara. It'll be O'Hara, Nick Fulkson, and Casey Santos Ocampo, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Tufts. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Tommy O'Hara for the second time this evening. And for Wilson Taylor, it's his second strikeout of the evening. That'll bring up Nick Fulkson, the first baseman. Fulkson 0 for 2 on the day with a run scored. Scored the first run for Amherst back in the 4th inning. First pitch is in there for a strike, and Fulkson gets back into the box here. Pitch is fouled to the right, not a play. Ball's hit right into the net on the right side here towards the Amherst dugout. Owing to the count here to Nick Fulkson, the first baseman. Here's the pitch by Taylor. Curveball in there for strike 3, and Fulkson gets caught looking. So back-to-back strikeouts for Wilson Taylor. Second out of the inning. That'll bring up the left fielder, Casey Santos Ocampo. Ocampo 1 for 2 on the evening. First pitch by Taylor. Outside for ball 1. Taylor's 0-1 pitch, bunt sign, and not pulled back there by Santos Ocampo. He's going to get in there for a strike. That'll even the count 1 ball and 1 strike here. To the left fielder, Casey Santos Ocampo. The pitch by Taylor. Kind of nubbed it out there towards the second baseman. Has it, comes up with it as Steinhorn. And he's able to retire the side there. 4-3 on the putout. And the Tufts Jumbos go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. It's Amherst 4 and Tufts 3. We'll be back with the top of the 8th right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field. Glad we could bring you the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network, nsnsports.net. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Amherst up and the lead. 4-3 for the Mammoths over the Tufts Jumbos. And it's going to be Anthony Spina to lead off here, the DH, for the Amherst Mammoths. So it'll be Spina, Kenny, and Tachi, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters that Brad Marchetti will face. 0-1 pitch, ball hit high in the air down the right field line. Going over and diving and making the catch is Oscar Kutch. Nice job there by Kutch, going right towards the line there, laid out. Was able to haul in the catch there for the first out of the inning. Nice job there by Oscar Kutch. That'll bring up Ariel Kenny, the right fielder. Kenny 2 for 3 on the day, 2 singles and a run scored back in the second inning. Marchetti's first pitch. Curveball is in there for strike one. Marchetti got that curveball working here since he came in relief of Jackson, of Spiros Varinos. 0-1 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed, strike two. We'll see if he throws him another hanger right here. What do you say, Dan Chassis? Is he going to throw him another one? Dan doesn't know, but I'm going to say he's going to throw him another one. Nope. A little bit too far outside. Good thing we didn't bet on that one. Top of the 8th, 4-3. Amherst, the visiting team, with the lead. Marchetti gets his sign from Frickman. The 1-2 pitch. A little bit high and inside. That'll even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes here. The pitch. Curveball, just able to get a piece of it there, was Ariel Kenny. Able to foul it off there towards the on-deck circle for Amherst. Staying alive in the count. The 2-2 pitch. Off-speed pitch a little bit outside. That brings the count full. Marchetti's 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Ariel Kenny goes down swinging. And for Marchetti, it's the first strikeout since entering the ball game back in the 7th. 2 up and 2 down, and that'll bring up Severino Tachi, the catcher. 2 for 3 on the evening, a double and an RBI and a single back in the 6th and the 2nd. Marchetti winds and fires. Curveball a little bit high for ball 1. Marchetti's 1-0 pitch. Right over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Marchetti's 1-1 pitch. Did he check his swing? And I'm going to say he did not check his swing. He went through there, broke the wrist there, so it's going to be a called strike 2. Marchetti's 1-2 pitch. Curveball, just a little bit high. The crowd wanted that one right there. That was a good breaking pitch by Marchetti there, but the umpire said maybe just a little bit high there, and that's going to even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. Nobody on for the Mammoths here in the 8th. Fastball hit on the ground to the third baseman. Up with it is O'Hara. Throws across in time to get Tachi at first base. It's going to be an F3 on the putout. And the Mammoths go 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-3 Amherst. The Jumbos coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Right after this, you're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Coombs Field, the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. Thank you for joining us this Friday evening for some NESCAC baseball here. Tufts and Amherst. And Ryan Day is going to lead off the bottom of the 8th for Tufts, trailing 4-3. It'll be Ryan Day, Harry Brown, and Harrison Frickman, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Jumbos. Trailing by 1, and that'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike here to the leadoff hitter and DH, Ryan Day. Day 0 for 2 on the day with a fly out and a fielder's choice. Pitch in there by Wilson is in there for strike 2. That'll bring the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the leadoff hitter, Ryan Day. Ball's fouled back into the net to the left side. The 1-2 pitch bounces towards home plate there. That'll even the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter and DH, Ryan Day. Taylor gets the sign from Tachi. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Day goes down swinging. It's the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Wilson Taylor after coming in the 7th inning. 1 up and 1 down. That'll bring up Harry Brown, the center fielder. Brown 1 for 3 on the evening with a single back in the 2nd. Taylor winds and fires. Hot shot there on a line into right field for a base hit. First pitch swinging for Harry Brown. 2 singles on the evening for Brown, and that'll bring up Harrison Frickman, the catcher.
The catcher, number 10, Harrison Frickman.
Harrison Frickman, 1 for 3 on the evening, had a 2 RBI double back in the 4th. We got a little delay in the ball game here as somebody warming up in the bullpen for Tufts, and they're going to come out here and we're going to get a pinch hitter here.
Number 7, Malcolm, not
Welcome Nachmanoff is going to come up here, number 7. Welcome Nachmanoff, the junior outfielder from Boston, Mass. Went to Boston Latin High School. Going to try to come in a big spot here for the Jumbos here in the bottom of the 8th. Nachmanoff hits a grounder to the third baseman. They go over to second for 1. On to first, double play! They turn it to perfection there. The double play to end the inning, and the Jumbos end is done here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th after this. It's 4-3 Amherst. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and a new pitcher for the Tufts Jumbos. It's number 25, Eric Schnepf, S-C-H-N-E-P-H. Excuse me, S-C-H-N-E-P-F, the catcher. He's also a catcher as well. The sophomore from Bridgewater, New Jersey, went to Bridgewater Raritan High School.
First baseman, number 25,
Chase Henley's going to start things off here. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for Amherst here in the 9th. It'll be Chase Henley, Nick Nardone, and Ryan Harden. Schnepf ahead 0-2 here in the count. He winds and fires. Curveball swung on and just barely getting a piece of it there is Chase Henley. Schnepf's 0-2 pitch. Curveball hit on a line into right field for a base hit. It's going to get into the gap. Rounding first and putting on the brakes there is going to be Chase Henley. It's going to be a leadoff single for the first baseman. And that'll bring up Nick Nardone, the third baseman. That ball was hit hard there on a line right in the right field. Nick Nardone 1 for 3 on the evening with a single and an RBI back in the second. And we're going to get a pinch runner here at first base.
pinch running, number 26, Will Murphy.
Number 26, Will Murphy, is going to be over at first base there running for Chase Henley. Have a pitching conference here between Schnepf and Harrison Frickman at the mound. So the pinch runner is Will Murphy at first base, taking the place of Chase Henley, who reached on a single in the right field here moments ago. So Nick Nardone's going to come up here. He's going to lay down a bunt here, pulls it back. Pulled it back just in time there. Going to be in there for a ball. Schnempf gets the sign, winds and fires. They're going to try to bunt again, and he pulls it back again this time. This time the pitch a little bit higher for ball 2. Gets the bunt down this time perfectly. Going to go over to second base. Instead, he's going to go to first base there. The only play he had, and Nardone is retired.
Number 12, Ryan Hyatt.
One unassisted on the play for the first out. Moving to second base is Will Murphy. So Nick Nardone is out at first base. Ryan Harden, the left fielder, number 9 hitter, comes up. Over to second is Will Murphy. Schnempf's pitch is in there for strike 1. Big swing in there for strike 2. The 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Harden goes down swinging for the second out of the inning.
Number 1, Max Steinhorn.
Max Steinhorn up here, back to the top of the lineup. 2 outs and a runner on second is Will Murphy for the Amherst Mammoths. Marchetti winds and fires there, low for ball 1. Ball's hit on the ground to the second shortstop. Shackelford has it. Throws across in time to retire Steinhorn 6-3. And that's going to retire the side. One hit, one man left on base here. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Tufts Jumbos trail 4-3 to the Amherst Mammoths. And we'll have the bottom of the 9th for you right after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And we're back here for the bottom of the ninth. The Tufts Jumbos in their last at bat here trail 4-3 to the number 2 seeded Amherst Mammoths.
Shortstop, number 1, Will Shackelford.
And pinch hitting here is, not pinch hitting. Number 1, Will Shackelford, batting number 9 in the slot here, the shortstop. He's going to lead things off here in the ninth. It'll be Shackelford, Petrie, and Kutch, the scheduled hitters. Ball hit on the ground to the shortstop. Roberson across in time to retire Shackelford 6-3 for the first out of the inning. Go back to the top of the lineup, the second baseman, number 3, Tom Petrie. Petrie 0 for 3 on the evening. First pitch there by by Taylor is a little bit low for a ball. One 0 pitch is outside and low for ball 2. Taylor's 2-0 pitch. Fastball in there for strike 1. The 2-1 pitch. Gonna get called the outside corner for strike 2. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the inning. Amherst leads 4-3. Tufts needs to plate 1 run to extend this ball game. And he gets hit right there on the left side there, does Tom Petrie. He was hit by a pitch also in the 6th inning. So Petrie's been hit by 2 pitches. It's kind of like Kevin Youkilis up there for the Red Sox. He used to always get hit by pitches. So Petrie gets hit by a pitch for the 2nd time in as many at-bats, and he's got a 1-out runner on first base here, and that'll bring up Oscar Kutch. Kutch 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts. He did walk in the 4th. Quick little pitching conference between Severino Tachi and Wilson Taylor. They go over to first base, trying to keep Petrie over there, and he wasn't too far off the bag. He's able to slide back in safely. Taylor's pitch is high and outside for ball 1. Oscar Kutch trying to extend this ball game for the Jumbos. Only 1 out in the inning. Taylor gets his sign, winds and fires. 1-0 pitch is a little bit high and inside for ball 2. 4-3 Amherst with the lead. Tufts trying to tie the ball game to extend it or win it. Taylor's pitch in there for strike 1. Taylor looks to runner back at first. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball high and inside for ball 3. Three-one pitch coming from Taylor. Here it is. Fastball right over the heart of the plate for strike 2. That'll bring the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Petrie is on first base. The tying run is on first. Wilson looks to runner back in. Petrie at first, and he throws over there to keep him close. And we get a timeout called here by the umpire. Oscar Kutch steps back into the batter's box. Taylor with the 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Ball fouled back into the net to the left side. Staying alive in the count is Oscar Kutch. Taylor with the sign, winds and fires. Fastball hit high in the air down the first baseline. Over is the right fielder, and Kenny has it. He hauls it in for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Tommy O'Hara, the third baseman. O'Hara is 0 for 4 on the evening with 2 strikeouts. 2 outs in the inning. Runner on first is Tom Petrie. Wilson Taylor back on the mound. The first pitch. Fastball a little bit outside there for ball 1. Taylor's pitch. Ball hit in a line to right field, going back and making a dive. No, he dropped the ball. Hitting third and coming home. Sliding in safely. It's going to be Tom Petrie. The right fielder, Ariel Kenny, almost made a fantastic catch out there in right field. It fell out of his glove and went to the fence. Scoring from first base is Petrie. That ties the ball game at 4. And on the second base there is Tommy O'Hara. Nick Folkson coming up here, the cleanup hitter. Folkson scored the first run of the ball game for the Jumbos back in the 4th inning. Has also 2 strikeouts, so a little pitching conference here. And that'll bring up Nick Folkson here. So the Jumbos have tied this ball game up at 4 in the bottom of the 9th. Ariel Kenny almost made a fantastic game-ending diving catch out there in right field. Looked like he had it, then he kind of dropped it out of his glove there as it went towards the warning track. So ball game still going on. New life for the Jumbos. We've tied it at 4. Taylor's first pitch in there for strike 1. The Tufts crowd has come alive to the left side of us here in our broadcast booth. Stepping out is Folkson here, taking his time before getting back in the box. Pretty good lead by O'Hara at second base. Pitch is fouled there down the first baseline, and foul almost took out the first base coach for the Jumbos. Folkson checking his batting gloves here, taking his time, getting back in the box. Tommy O'Hara is on second base there. Taylor's 0-2 pitch. Fastball is outside for ball 1. Taylor's pitch hit on a line into right field for a base hit. They're going to wave around O'Hara. We're going to have a play at the plate, and he is safe. O'Hara is safe at the plate. The catcher, Tachi, dove for the plate, but he missed it. O'Hara slides in safely, scoring from second base, and the Tufts Jumbos have won the ball game 5-4 in 9 innings. What a finish here today at Colby College. A 3-2 ball game between Middlebury and Bates, and now a 5-4 win for Tufts over the Amherst Mammoths here. What a great day for NESCAC baseball here in Waterville.
ladies and gentlemen, you total on a great game.
The final, Tufts picks up the come-from-behind win over Amherst, and both number 1 seeds move on to the winner's bracket tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Bates will take on Amherst at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow in Game 1, and it'll be winner's bracket game tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock between Tufts and Middlebury. We'll take a quick timeout, catch our breath, and come back with the postgame right after this. It's the Tufts Jumbos, the number 1 seed, coming from behind, a 5-4 victory over the Amherst Mammoths. We'll take a timeout and come back after this. You're watching the 2017 NESCAC Baseball Championship on the Northeast Sports Network. And welcome back to Colby College's Coombs Field. What a great finish here in our nightcap here tonight. The Tufts Jumbos, the number 1 seed, in a come-from-behind victory